My name is Cassie. I'm an intensely private person, so I tend not want to put my face on YouTube, but I wanted to do this because I wanted to be able to track my progress doing all my flosses, all my cross stitch. I've only just started doing cross stitch in the past year as I was doing my master's degree in Western Ontario, Canada. I currently reside in Calgary, and I finished my master's degree and I'm on the job hunt right now. I have nothing else to do with my time other than cross stitch. But I'm doing a couple big full coverage things and a small little things that I wanted to keep track of. So I'm creating these videos for myself, and hopefully you're entertained along the way. So I filmed this and then I realized I really didn't do a proper introduction. Hi, Cassie. You learned that. I'm very personal. I go on Instagram as Read and Be Crafty, so you can find me there. If you ask any questions, go for it. I love questions. If they are of the personal nature, I won't respond to them. My boundaries. Consent is sexy, as the Stitches would like to say. Consent is sexy. Oh, and there's so many comments about size. It's perfection. That's why I watch them. Same with Michelle Benty stitches. Their finishes parade is what inspired me to do this. Like, finally. I've been teasing the idea, and they finally made me do it, girl. So that's my inspiration. Because how often do you... I'm sorry, you see so many white women. No offense. Don't come at me with that white fragility. White women all across Flosstube, and that makes me want to go, I don't need to put myself out there, because there's lots of them already out there. But they all do samplers. I want to put my stuff out to, as a way to make me accountable for what I do over the year, but also to showcase that it's not just samplers out there. Surprise! So that's the gist of this video. It's a reminder to me to do what to do, and also to showcase my stuff to you, to those who are looking for other than. It's generic. So thank you. I'm gonna jump straight into it. I'm gonna start with finishes first that I have done the past year, just to remind myself you need to get these finished and framed, or whatever you need to do with them. So the first one is the Dark Queen of the Sea Cell that was done by Autumn Lane Sitchery. So it was a year long. I jumped onto it maybe halfway, more than halfway, and I was able to catch up and finish with them. So this is my Dark Queen of the Sea Cell. So of course you can see the changes I made in the hair, and the crown, and then the trident, like different colors. And I also made some changes in the eyes, because I like the eyes that they were doing with the half stitches, but I couldn't do them on the Aida. So this is the call for under the sea fabrics, and so I had to do my own little modification with the eyes. and I saw somebody do this on Facebook too, so I'm not the original one. I hated the color of the beads, so I changed the bead colors to a black. So they're shiny, they're there, it's just not blue. I did get the bead pack. So I did scatter them here and there, but basically just kept it with the black. And you can see the skull, since I was on Facebook. I'm planning to have this framed. Eventually. We'll see when that happens. With the money. My next finish is the, what did I have as a finish this year? Hold up. So there's gonna be lots of crinkling. But the first thing I ever did was the Death tarot card from, I want to say Night Spirit Studio, or it could be Witchy Stitcher. I'll put it down below which one is the correct one. This is a full coverage, of course, but this is the one that started the whole journey of doing cross stitch. So I kind of want something to do with this. And then I kind of stayed with Night Spirit Studio and I did a bunch of their stuff. And did the bookmark. I actually just remembered now that I haven't done any of the back stitching on this in the white. Like, the missing teeth. It is what it is. So that's the bookmark. And then this is the also Night Spirit Studio, full coverage. Loved it. And then this one came a little bit later, but it was one of the first I purchased. And I'm just realizing now that I actually didn't really finish it. I did not fill in the Memento Mori. I just left it blank. Because that was a lot of stitching in black there and keeping track of where you were. But that's Memento Mori. That's that one. And then on Instagram, Night Spirit Studios kind of poked or led me to Witchy Stitcher. And that got me into her Yule. She has them all for the Witchy, Wiccan, like it's Sabbath and Samhain. So that's the Yule. This is for a friend. Hopefully I'll give this to her before you see this video goes up. But those are most of my finishes. These are current work in progress and WIPs. So what really kind of started this whole journey was me also seeing Medusa Dollmaker. She does a lot of artwork, Art Nouveau artwork that I really enjoy seeing. And I also found out that she does a cross stitch. And Gecko, Rouge, the owners or the publishers of the artwork, as a cross stitch kit. So I purchased the Mermaid. It's just the Mermaid. I call it the Medusa Mermaid. But I purchased the kit and all the full coverage pieces that I've done as a finish was in preparation for this. And then I just kept putting it off until I finally got enough courage to say, yes, I'm ready to do this. And I started it on November 2nd at this past year, so 2021. Of course, it's massive. It's full coverage. Like it is, I'm doing it on an 18 count. So it is 20 inches by 32 inches. With the stitches, a stitch count of 368 by 579. So it's a massive kit with 90 colors. So I started it on November 2nd. And then dove just right in. I have nothing else to do. Once I was finished with schoolwork, I was jumped right in. So I started in the middle because the edges are curved. Like there's no corner. So I was freaking out that I was missing or I did it in the wrong spot. So I was just like, no. After I did a thread in the corner, I was like, no, I'm starting in the middle. So the middle is somewhere around there. I think, I hope. If the pattern says it is, I'll obey the pattern. So this is where I am now. I'm not taking it off the cues now. Sorry. I basically got to the belly button and got to the edge of the moon. And then I just decided to come back down and continued on her tail. So you get the fishies. You gotta do the little fishies. So I now have 1 fish, 2 fish, and working on the 3rd fish. So it's really detailed. I'm really happy with it. Like the scales are coming through. Yeah. And also I measured the fabric in the kit, and it was a short, a couple inches, 1 or 2 inches of what I was feeling comfortable with. So I substituted it for an easy grid. Why easy grid? I don't know why. I could have just gone with a regular Aida, 18 count Aida. Oh well. Yeah. So that's the Mermaid. And then the preparation kit that I did to lead up to the Mermaid is another full coverage. And Art Nouveau, I loved it. So this is, I've been calling her the Brunette because she is a brunette. And there is actually no, you know what? So I bought 2 kits at the same time. So it was from this company. I'm hoping that it comes across the correct side, not a reflection of what I'm seeing it backwards. Anyways, this is called the Blonde Maiden. Maybe this is called the Brunette Maiden? Anyways, so I got her pretty much complete. And then I was like, oh, I could do the Mermaid. I could finish this in a week and then start on the Mermaid. And maybe meh. And then I was like, no. And I still have a lot to do on this. So this is, so yeah, I finished the circle. And then I was like, okay, this will be a breeze. This will take no time at all, thought Cassie. But no, she is a beaut. But I'm halfway there. And I still have the back stitching to do. Which is, why do people don't like back stitching? I can understand why, because it's time consuming, it's tedious, you really have to look at the pattern. It's not that bad, it's just, there's a lot in this one. I was surprised to see that. But eventually, I'll get to you. Eventually, I'll get to you. But she is coming along. And she was my practice before the Mermaid. And there was not as much confetti I was expecting in this one. But the Mermaid, oh boy. Oh boy. But this got me started. And then Ingleside Imaginarium, or Ingleside. I think it's Ingleside Imaginarium. Came out with a Keramos. I've been calling it the Greek pot because I cannot pronounce it. I'll put it down below what the actual pronunciation is. But they've been doing a sale. It ends tomorrow month. No, tomorrow, next month. Next month. It ends next month. And the last one comes out next month. And this is where I am so far. So I've been working a lot on this over Christmas because it was the only cross-stitch thing I brought with me. It was the only cross-stitch thing I brought with me for Christmas to my parents' place. And so I was forced to work on it for all of Christmas. So before Christmas, I was at the Crimea. After Christmas, this is where I am now. I've been stopping and going on this a lot because there's a lot of counting involved, especially on the size of the jar. I have messed up this weave band. Like I came down, went across with the wave to get to the centaur. And then when I got to the centaur, I realized my wave band was wrong. Like the wave pattern was wrong. It was lower by 3 stitches. And I knew that I messed up on this side. But I had to rip it out because I didn't know how much space I had at the bottom. So into timeout it went until Christmas. And so I basically, by that time, Brittany, correct name down below, came out with the rest. And it was up to this guy, this lovely sea creature. And then I was like, okay, I got lots to do. So I did both. I did a lot of ripping and sewing at the same time. And then I started doing some of the back stitching. And some back stitching I'm doing and some I'm not, because sometimes it doesn't make sense. No offense, love the pattern. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you need 3 lines on the rump of a Pegasus to outline there's a rump? Just saying. I'm just ignoring that one. But I loved all of it. So the outlining will eventually get done. And then I got down to here, and I'm starting to fudge a lot of things again, because I don't count right, apparently. When it comes to this pattern specifically, I can't count right. So I got to here, and I think there's something wrong with the tail, and I think it's in here somewhere right at the beginning, and it's not intersecting, so I'm happy, I'm good, I'm gonna keep going. So, and then I need to figure out what's going on with the side. There was something wrong with it in the original pattern. I just need to figure out my way through that. Is it affecting me, or is it not affecting me, and so forth. But yeah, there's been a lot of ripping in this one. A lot of timeouts with this one. Eventually, it will get done. Eventually. And then this one, this is been on standby for a bit, because yes, I did have some black fabric Aida in my finishes, but this lovely jeweled queen by Night Spirit Studios, I think it is 939 DMC, that is almost the color black, that it is pissing me off. I can't see it. It look like when you put it in and it is checkered and it looks great, it looks amazing. You can definitely see it's there. But stitching it on the black is driving me insane. I can only stitch it on this in daylight or really strong light, and I just don't have that. So I'm almost there. But she's in timeout as well, because I don't like her right now. She's beautiful. She's in timeout right now. I'll bring her out eventually. Summertime, possibly. We'll see. Oh, this is actually a finish. Possible finish. So, inky circles. Ink circles? Inky circles? Oh, what's his name? The owner of Fortnite Fabrics. He was the one that got me into this designer, because he was starting to stitch on Get Krakened. And at the time, I am very obsessed with Sea of Thieves. And of course, there's a Kraken in Sea of Thieves. And this was the only pattern that I've really seen that I can go, I like that. Let me just change a few things to it to make it Sea of Thieves related. And so I got the pattern, did my modifications, and then jumped in full all feet, and then realized I did something wrong. I had to rethink it. Not much, but still I had to rethink it. But this is the Ink Circles Get Krakened base pattern. I did email her to say, are you okay with me doing this? I never did get a response. I think I should email her again. Tracy Horner is her name. just in case you don't know who I'm talking about. So this is the Get Kraken. So the first thing I did was change the Dutch into English translation and changed it. So it actually says, "This began the epic battle and no one escapes their watery grave." I did not like he, because in Sea of Thieves you could be she, so one works. And then I changed a few of the motifs. They're related to Sea of Thieves, so if you play Sea of Thieves, you kind of get it. If not, you can comment below, and I can explain it. But I did a lot of the changing of the motifs to reflect that. So like the emissaries, the flag of friendship, the mermaid actually has the mermaid in the Sea of Thieves. The shrouded ghost, if you ever hunt for that, good luck. And then over here, this was a lot of work for me because I don't particularly like samplers, and this was the only. So I was like, I can totally change motifs to reflect Sea of Thieves. So I did add a Athena chest, a wheel, shovel, fishing rod with the ruby splash tail, tall tail book, money pouch, ashen key, the weapons, the voyage voting knife, the food, the emissary flags themselves, pineapples. I'm actually quite proud of this. So this is the chain ball. Chain ball. Whatever that doesn't sound right. Have you ever had that happen when you say a word and you're like, that does not sound right, and then you go look it up and you're like, yeah, that's correct. And beside the point, I was proud of this because I actually had to look it up. There is an embroidery stitch that you can do to make it look like a chain. So that's what I did. It's called cable stitch or something like that. And this is a sword. So the problem with this is like I have huge amounts of graph paper just lying around devoted to this because I made a mistake. I glued them together, taped them together, and then I think it was up to here. Yeah, it was up to here where the food is, where I was like, okay, that's the entire pattern. That's all it is. And then I got up to here and I was like, there's this much space left. What the hell am I doing? So I thought it through and I was like, okay, I took the skull from Night Spirit Studios' Memento Mori and put it in here. I put the emissary flags in. I kind of already had them already stretched out. I just didn't have room to do it in here. And then, yeah, came up with the rest. So you can see there's empty space here. But you can just say the sword is in Sea of Thieves. So I thought to do this with all the DMC conversion. Send this to a pretty, not pretty, he is pretty, but still, a Sea of Thieves streamer that I watch on Twitch. He basically got me through 2021. So I'll send it to him. So I have to finish it up, probably hanging from caught up cross stitch caterpillar. Future Cassie, remember that. Finish it up and then redo it again with the silks. I do have some of the silks on order with traditional stitches here in Calgary. They have all but one of them left, so I'll come again. With less of a headache this time because it's all stitched out. I'll take nice pictures and then send it on his way. So that's Get Kraken. See these. I'll fold that later. Is that all my works in progress? I think so. Let me just, I have my notes here. I'm just looking at, is that all my, there's a It's somewhere over there. There is a cross stitch called Wisdom Owl that I purchased online as a kit. Didn't like the fabrics, so switched it out. The floss was terrible. Since it's a kit, I can't do anything about it. It's a UFO. Do something with that, future Cassie. What else? Oh, my owl. Oh, this is the finish. So I thought this was going to take longer than it actually did. Crinkle. But actually, because I brought this with me to with Christmas, thought it was going to take longer, and actually didn't. So this is also Ink Circle's Athena Owl. And that's the Athena Owl. I finished it. Just tucked away in my bag, not knowing what I was doing with it. So that's a finish that you need to deal with, Cassie. So this was my first time using some of the overdyed floss. This is the call for in it, so the gentle art. Took a lot of hunting. This was my first time really hunting for stuff, and I don't like it. Why do I have to hunt? Anyways, so that's that. Now you can see I have slight obsession with Greek stuff. Every kid was. It was either Greek and Egyptian or something else that you were obsessed as a kid. Dinosaurs? So that's that. Beautiful. My Athena Owl from Night Circles. Oh, all these projects are done with Aida. I am not touching linen. Thank you very much. However, there's a slight exception. But I'm not touching linen. They're all done with Aida. All purchased from Traditional Stitches or from the one in London. I'll put their name down below, what they're called. So plans. Let's talk about that. Plans. Cassie, I want you to at least start some of these for this year. I know that you could be obsessed with the Mermaid, but you should start some of these and continue. So Owl Force, there was a craze with Owl Force embroidery, surprisingly. So I bought 3 of their things when I had money. I bought a few of their things. I bought the 100 owls. So, of course, it came with Belfast linen. I went, nope, let me just change that out for something else. So I think I changed it out for the light mocha. Nope, 20 count Aida Vintage Country. This came from Stitching Corner in Cochrane. So if that's in there, along with the linen, I'll do something with it eventually. I will do that. It'll probably be my supplement to the Mermaid to keep me from freaking out about the Mermaid. And then this was back in when what's that company? Brain fart. I should know this and I should say it because all of these patterns came from them. There was a stitching box released for October, and Autumn Lane Sitchery was announced as one of the vendors for it. So they designed a pattern for it, and I was like, yeah, let me just get that box when it comes. And they produced Baba Yaga in it. However, the fabric that called for it came in it because it was like 4 kits in one box. Trick or Treat. I'm still trying to think of what the company is. It's 32 count Catacombs by Beach Stitch Me. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it on linen. This might be the only exception case. I might do this in the linen. We'll see how it goes. I'll start and then see how it goes. However, I don't like the house colors, so I'll just fade them out. Like, I'll probably just take different shades of the brown there, like the main body of the house, and change it because I don't like these browns. Something like that. There's a few changes gonna go on here. So that's one plan. And the other one is Silver Creek Samplers Fly by Night, or Flying Lesson, it's called. I have, because it came with everything, I have all of it. I might change it though. Don't ask me what, but I'll change it. Oh, look at that reflection in the screen. However, I have a whole bunch of other things that I have listed. I just didn't bring them with me. But I have all the patterns, of course, are on this computer, but I have listed them. So, ink circle seashells. I'm thinking of doing that. The forced embroidery around the sun. I have that. What else? What's her name? The designer for ABC Stitches. I'll put her down below. I was watching her Flosstube and she said she produced these tiny masterpieces from the Tiny Stitch on Etsy. And I was like, that's my jam. Let me just go for that too. So that's on the plan. I have the DMC list all made out for that. I will do those. Another pattern that I also purchased at the very beginning of, not the very beginning, but the middle of 2021 when I started this whole journey, was the museum full coverage from Heaven and Earth's designs. Heaven and Earth? Hade. You know what I'm talking about. Museum. The huge, massive one. I've already purchased the fabric. I'm not purchased the flosses yet. Kind of waiting for Michael's to do something. How often I am in Michael's to see their deals on flosses. Hey, if you live in Canada and you purchase flosses from Michael's because of the deal, the cheaper, is there a deal that applies to those flosses specifically that I should know about? Let me know, because that's when I'll purchase them, probably. What else am I thinking to do? Well, this one, not gonna happen. Unless future Cassie thinks of it to do it. Let me know in a year down the road if you're gonna do this, Cassie. What else? Witchcraft? Yes, the Witchcraft from Night Spirit Studio. No, Witchy Stitcher. They're the one that did it. But that's all. Those are all my thoughts on cross stitch itself. I'm also a pretty avid knitter. So I have a few projects over here that I kind of want to say finish up before the end of the year, possibly. Yeah. If you're not interested in knitting, this is your time. Alright. So, Stephen West from Stephen West Knits. He was the first designer that he does a September, October knit along, wear a shawl. I did the previous year, that was my first shawl that I ever did with a lot of color work, and I was like, this is totally my jam. This year, this shawlology. This was the first, and I did that past year. And this is the first time actually looking at this since I put it away. That's it. ignore the loose ends. I did do the Weave and Steven method that he promotes. I just need to clip them all off. I will do that eventually, but that's that. I'm slightly disappointed with it. It's been wet blocked and everything. I'm slightly disappointed with it because it's in this row. Very nice row. But the tips, I was knitting too tight, I think. And it is like a taut line of yarn through the whole pattern. So when it hangs, this bit wants to flop forward. So this will be a test of my knitting skills if I clip that line and do something with it. But yeah, that's that. And then I have this here with me because the other one is tucked away. I redid this shawl cardigan. It was like a random freebie cardigan that I found on Ravelry. Ravelry is a whole nother topic for another day. But that's the cardigan. It's a very nice long cardigan, a very librarian-esque cardigan with a twist. So that's that. I have another cardigan going. I just don't know where it is. Find that. If you really wanted to know who the designer is, I can definitely get the designer's name to you. The yarn, not so much. Oh, hold on. This is Foxfire from Brian. Yes, I know what that yarn is. And then, oh boy. So this is Jessie May Designs. I should know the designer. This is Ursurina sweater from Jessie May. So I'm doing it as a cropped, clearly. I have done one sleeve and I'm almost on the other one. Sleeve Island. There I am. The reason why I'm stopping this is because, and you know when you do something and you get along with it and you're like, oh, this actually doesn't work for me. Should I continue? That's where I am with this one. Because the sleeve is too tight. The sleeve is, I did the sleeve once, tried it on, and I was like, no, it's too tight. Even with the tapering. So I went, okay, let me just rip it back up and do not do any tapering at all. Not do any decreases. It's still slightly too tight. I don't know if blocking will fix that. That's where I am on this. And the balls keep running away from me. This is my other project that I'm doing from Jessie May Designer. The same designer. It's because she's very inclusive designer. That's why I like her. And she allows a lot of modifications to be done in the design itself. This design came in her Embody magazine that she did. Loved it so much that I have yarn for her shawl in that magazine, yarn for her vest, and this might be the best. Well, this might not be the best. It might be the cardigan. So this is where I am at with that. Be further along, Cassie. And this is from Regina, Sugar Burst Festivity. And it's it does not give me a color. But that's where I am with this. Despite doing it wrong size first and ripping it out. And then this is where I am now. I'm perfectly content with this one. This is very loose, but still my size. And the bicep had to be increased. So thank you for the perfect formulas to give me how to do my bicep correctly and allow it to breathe. But that's my knitting. That's my knitting. That's all I have. We'll see if I do any crochet projects. We'll see if I do any spinning. I have a bucket full of spinning of wool to do, and I should do that. It'll be interesting to see if I do any of that. Okay. My butt hurts from sitting on this floor. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. There is actually one good thing from doing these videos. It's made me put all my finishes in a bag. Okay, this is a very end thing, but yeah, I do want to put it in the video specifically because you may be offended. This is from Murder Pillows here in Calgary. I found them at the Tattoo Expo 2021, and I was like, they use these bags for having their copy of the tattoo in them to prevent ink from getting on them and so forth. I saw this and I was like, cross stitch bag. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Because the fabric, it says, look at them. Look at it! Yeah, this is holding my Baba Yaga working project. I know. I didn't want to put it in the video because some people might get offended. So I took this entire video not really seeing that I've created a really bad description of myself or introduction of myself. So this is my attempt at starting another one. This is already going so well.